At the end of World War II, the Allied powers divided and conquered Germany into 4 zones. Each of the 4 zones was occupied by the United States, Great Britain, France, or the Soviet Union, as agreed at the Potsdam Conference. The Potsdam Conference was a meeting between the Big Three in Potsdam, Germany, from July 17, 1945 to August 2, 1945, to negotiate terms for the end of World War II. The Big Three were the leader of the Soviet Union, Joseph Stalin, the British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, who was replaced on July 26 by Prime Minister Clement Attlee, and the U.S. President Harry S. Truman. The Big Three were the leaders that put an end to World War II. After World War II, the Allied powers divided and conquered Germany into 4 zones, each occupied by the United States, Great Britain, France, or the Soviet Union. The same was done with Germany's capital, Berlin. As the relationship between the Soviet Union and the other 3 Allied powers quickly disintegrated, the cooperative atmosphere of the occupation of Germany turned competitive and aggressive. Although an eventual reunification of Germany had been intended, the relationship between the Allied powers turned Germany into West versus East, democracy versus communism. In 1949, this new organization of Germany became official when the 3 zones occupied by the United States, Great Britain, and France combined to form West Germany, which was also known as the Federal Republic of Germany. The zone that was occupied by the Soviet Union quickly retaliated by forming East Germany, which was also known as the German Democratic Republic. Within a short period of time after the war, the living conditions in West and East Germany became distinctly different. With the help and support of its occupying powers, West Germany set up a capitalist society and experienced such a rapid growth of their economy that it became known as the economic miracle. With hard work, individuals living in West Germany were able to live well, buy gadgets and appliances, and to travel as they wished. The total opposite was true in East Germany. Since the Soviet Union had viewed their zone as a spoil of war, the Soviets pilfered factory equipment and other valuable assets from their zone and shipped them back to the Soviet Union. When East Germany became its own country, it was under the direct influence of the Soviet Union, and thus a communist society was established. In East Germany, the economy struggled, and individual freedoms were severely restricted. By the late 1950s, many people living in East Germany wanted out. No longer able to stand the repressive living conditions of East Germany, would pack up their bags and head to West Berlin. Although some of them would be stopped on their way, hundreds of thousands of others made it across the border. Once across, these refugees were housed in warehouses and then flown to West Germany. Many of those who escaped were young, trained professionals. By the early 1960s, East Germany was rapidly losing both its labor force and its population. Having already lost 2.5 million people by 1961, East Germany desperately needed to stop this massive exodus. The obvious leap was the easy access East Germans had to West Berlin. With the help of the Soviet Union, there had been several attempts to simply take over West Berlin in order to eliminate this exit point. Although the Soviet Union threatened the United States with the use of nuclear weapons over the issue, the United States and other Western countries were committed to defending West Berlin. Desperate to keep its citizens, East Germany decided to build a wall to prevent them from crossing the border. There had been rumors that something might happen to tighten the border of East and West Berlin, but no one was expecting the speed nor the absoluteness of the Berlin Wall. Just past midnight on the night of August 12th to 13th, 1961, trucks with soldiers and construction workers rumbled through East Berlin. While most Berliners were sleeping, these crews began tearing up streets that entered into West Berlin, dug holes to put up concrete posts, and strung barbed wire all across the border between East and West Berlin. Telephone wires between East and West Berlin were also cut. Berliners were shocked when they woke up that morning. What had once been a very fluid border was now rigid. East Berliners could no longer cross the border for operas, plays, soccer games, and such. The fall of the Berlin Wall was just as sudden as its rise. There had been signs that the communist bloc was weakening, but the East German communist leaders insisted that East Germany just needed a moderate change rather than a drastic revolution. Citizens of East Germany disagreed. As communism began to falter in Poland, Hungary, and Czechoslovakia in 1988 and 1989, new exodus points were opened to East Germans who wanted to flee to the West. And suddenly, on the evening of November 9, 1989, an announcement made by East German government official Günter Schabowski blundered by stating permanent relations can be done through all border checkpoints between East Germany into West Germany or West Berlin. People were in shock. East Germans tentatively approached the border and found that the border guards were letting people across. Very quickly, the Berlin Wall was inundated with people from both sides. Some began chipping at the Berlin Wall with hammers and chisels. there was an huge impromptu celebration along the Berlin Wall, with people hugging, kissing, singing, cheering, and crying. The Berlin Wall was eventually chipped away into smaller pieces. The pieces have become collectibles and are stored in both homes and museums. Now there is also a Berlin Wall memorial at the site after the Berlin Wall came down. East and West Germany reunified into a single German state on October 3, 1990.